The Canadian Real Estate Association has published the December 2022 real estate stats for all of Canada. Sales from November to December edged higher by 1.3% nationwide. Gains were led by Edmonton and Ottawa. CREA also published their quarterly forecast, which I'll be sharing with you. Let's see what we can learn. My name is Roch St-Georges. I'm a real estate broker in Ottawa. I help families and individuals with the purchase, sale, or rental of real estate in our city. As you may expect, the information in the report will make those who are looking to purchase real estate in the coming weeks or months quite happy. Those who currently own real estate, well, if you listen to the channel, you know what's up. And it's not the property values. So let's dive into the numbers and see what we can learn together. So the report shows us that sales across Canada rose 1.3% month over month, meaning from November to December. Looking at sales volume from December 2021 to December 2022, those are down 39%, which isn't a surprise as 2021 was a year of insane levels of activity that was fueled by historically low interest rates. Combine this with the fact that mortgage rates are on the rise, there's uncertainty in the markets and a looming recession, while people have a smaller appetite to purchase real estate. Looking at sales activity per quarter, residential sales activity in Q4 of 2022 was just above 400,000. In the last 6 years, the only reading we got, which was lower, was in Q2 of 2020. We had a reading of just under 350,000 sales for the quarter. This was, of course, the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Looking at the number of newly listed properties, those dropped 6.4% month over month. Once again, not at all surprising to me. Unless someone has to sell, sellers tend to not want to list their properties in December around the holiday season. Many prefer to wait until the spring market to list, as historically, this is when most buyers are out shopping. Looking at the MLS Home Price Index, HPI, real estate prices have declined 1.6% month over month. They are down 7.5% nationally on a year-over-year basis. When looking at the non-seasonally adjusted average sell prices, prices for Canada are down from 711,000 to 626,000. That's a 12% drop year-over-year. Here's a chart showing the year-over-year percentage change for Canada. I can see this dipping at or even below 2009 levels, as we had such a huge run-up in price, which is very out of the ordinary. With the huge rise in price, we're bound to see a huge correction. In Ontario, prices are down 12.2% year over year. We went from 924,000 to 812,000. Let's look at this graph showing December 2022 versus December 2021 average prices. Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland are still showing year-over-year gains, while Ontario and BC are showing the biggest year-over-year losses. Locally here in Ottawa, we're down 4.6% year-over-year. We went from 640,000 in December 2021 to 610,000 in December 2022. Jill Outhill, chair of CREA, said in 2022, we saw one of the biggest single-year shifts on record in Canadian housing activity, from record highs last winter to just below the 10-year average to the end of the year. We can see this in the following graph. The monthly home sales volume in red is now below the black line showing the 10-year seasonally adjusted moving average. Let's look at the residential price graph for Canada. The red line is the average price, while the blue line is the MLS Home Price Index, also known as HPI. The number of newly listed homes dropped 6.4% on a month-over-month basis in December, led by declines in BC and Quebec. It was among the lowest December new supply levels on record, with new listings down by quite a bit more than the sales on a month-over-month basis. The sales to new listings ratio tightened to 54.4% compared to 50.2% posted in November. The long-term average for this measure is 55.1. In the same graph shown with the blue bars, we can see the months of inventory. We are currently sitting with 4.2 months of residential inventory across Canada. The last time we had 4 months of inventory was before the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns. Now the aggregate composite MLS home price index now sits at 13% below its peak level of February 2022. So I've pulled the data for this chart and recreated it, showing only January 2020 to December 2022 prices, giving us a more detailed view. From January 1st, 2020 to the peak in price of 2022, we saw the composite, which includes all property types, go up 53.1% and has since come down 15%. Looking at individual property types, two-story properties shown in yellow saw the highest increase with a gain of 57% to the peak. They've since dropped about 16%. Townhouses shown in green on the charts have gone up 51% up to the peak and have since dropped about 12% since peaking. Finally, apartment units shown in orange were the type to see the weaker price increase. Units went up 31.6% and have recently come down 7% since peaking. This makes sense to me with the lockdowns, with more and more people working from home. Many required more space, and moving into an apartment condo, often in the urban areas, wouldn't be very appealing. Prices for apartments really only started to increase around January 2021. I think for the most part, those who own apartment style condos early into the pandemic were looking to sell, especially those who had units rented to tenants. Many lost their tenants, and rents in the urban area saw a dip as many were looking for larger spaces to live in. This is also what we saw locally here in Ottawa. I do have a video showing which property types increased the fastest and which saw the biggest price declines in Ottawa. You can view it by clicking here if you're on YouTube. Now back to the report. CREA's report does mention that although Ontario and BC have seen corrections higher than the national average, there are some areas such as Calgary, Regina, and Saskatoon, as well as St. John's, that are barely off their peaks. In December 2022, the average home price in Canada was $626,000, a decrease of 12% year over year. Note that the national average price is significantly impacted by sales in the Greater Vancouver and Greater Toronto area, which are among Canada's most expensive housing markets. Removing those two markets from the calculation reduces the national average price by almost $118,000. Let's finish off with the Canadian Real Estate Association's quarterly forecast. This graph shows us the forecast for sales activity for 2023 and 2024. To better get a grasp of these numbers, let's look at historical sales figures. Here are the number of sales from 2019 to 2022. 2019 saw an increase of 6.5% over 2018. In 2020, we saw an increase of 12.5%. In 2021, we saw an increase of 20.5%, which just goes to show us how crazy things had become and how low mortgage rates were really propping up things. In 2022, we saw sales volume drop 25% as mortgage rates were rising. Now, CREA expects sales for 2023 to be around 495,000, which could be a 0.5% dip when compared to 2022. They then expect sales to rise by 10% in 2024 to reach 546,000. Looking at national average home prices for 2023, they forecast a decline of 6%, meaning an average price of $662,000 on an annual basis. For 2024, they forecast that the national average home price will be at $685,000, showing a moderate rise of 3.5% from 2023 to 2024. This would still be below 2022 prices, but on par with 2021 prices. Focusing on Ontario, CREA believes sales activity will be down 0.9% in 2023 and increase 14.6% in 2024. Looking at the average prices, they believe Ontario prices will drop 8.7% in 2023 to reach $850,800 and then move into positive territory in 2024 when prices will increase by 1.1% to reach $860,600. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or want to discuss the Ottawa real estate market, please reach out to me using information on the screen. Si vous aimeriez discuter d'achat, de vente ou bien de location de propriété ici à Ottawa, n'hésitez pas de me rejoindre en utilisant l'information à l'écran. As always, if you like the video, hit the like button and click the subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with the Ottawa real estate market. If you know somebody that would benefit from seeing this video, please share it with them. Thank you so much. Merci. Ciao.